Hello everyone, welcome to Unit 5, Opinion Essays. Because you have learned opinion paragraphs in the previous course, you can find some similarities when learning how to write an opinion essay. However, you will also find out some new things to improve your writing. I would like to start with asking you to look at this photo and answer the questions on the screen. As you can see, the man is in the desert. He is talking to someone on the mobile phone. He must enjoy his life because he can communicate with others everywhere, although he is in the desert. However, his parents couldn't do that and stayed in isolated areas from the world. To express our opinion about his life academically, we need to complete Unit 5, which is designed to help learners to recognize the organization and write an effective short opinion essay. Identify and use specific vocabulary and structures to write a short opinion essay. To meet those objectives, we are going through the following parts in Unit 5. Stimulating idea, brainstorming and outlining, developing your ideas and editing your writing. Let's start with the first part, stimulating ideas, in which we are going to explore a text, wireless technology in the land of the Thunder Dragon, by reading, understanding and responding to the text. I would like to ask you to spend some minutes reading the text and then answer the questions under it. You can find the list of new words on the right of the text. To understand the text better, let's do the reading comprehension exercise on the slide. Please decide if each statement is true or false. And now, can you answer the questions on the screen to get the details of the text? After we have finished exploring a reading text, we now continue with the second step of our writing process, which is also part 2 of Unit 5. We are going to firstly brainstorm, then study the organization of an opinion essay before making an outline. Let's start with brainstorming ideas. Can you read the opinions presented in the chart and then decide which opinion you can agree with? These two opinions are opposite to each other. Let's continue with brainstorming vocabulary. You need to put the given verbs in the correct column. We have completed the step of brainstorming and now let's study opinion organization. In an opinion essay, the writer tries to convince the reader of a point of view on a controversial issue, something that people disagree about. The first part is introduction. The hook introduces a controversial issue. It can be an anecdote, a question, or a surprising statement, or a fact that makes the reader want to know more. The middle sentences explain why the issue is important by giving background information. This background information explains the issue with details about the history or the people involved, what they want or how it affects them. The thesis statement at the end of the introduction presents the writer's point of view. The second part of the essay is body paragraphs. The topic sentence supports the writer's main argument in the thesis. The following sentences support the topic sentence with reasons, facts and explanations to help the reader understand the writer's point of view. The final body paragraph often includes the opposing opinion. This is called the counter-argument. The writer then argues against the counter-argument. This is called refutation. In the refutation, the writers point out weaknesses in the counter-argument and shows how his or her own argument is stronger. The last part is conclusion. The conclusion restates the writer's opinion, but often using different, more persuasive language. It may also offer a warning, a prediction, or other type of comment that reinforces the writer's viewpoint. To understand the opinion essay organization better, let's complete exercise 1. You need to read the essay and examine the organization of the essay by answering the questions under it. To help you imagine an outline of an opinion essay, we are now going to make an outline based on the essay. What can space exploration do for me? By filling in the blanks. You have some minutes to fill in this outline. And here is the suggested answer. The hook is an interesting statement, and it is followed by some background information about events mentioned in the hook. The final one is the thesis statement, which outlines the content in the following paragraphs. The body paragraph starts with a topic sentence, which is also the first sentence. It is then accompanied by 2 reasons explained in details. Especially in the second body paragraph, there is a counter-argument and the author's refutation. They help make the essays more balanced. The conclusion summarizes the main ideas of the body paragraphs. After having studied how to brainstorm and make an outline, we now move to developing ideas. In an opinion essay, we need to use facts and opinions, interpret facts to support an opinion, and finally, provide counter-argument and refutation. Let's start first with using facts and opinions. Writers often use both facts and opinions to support their positions or arguments. They state their opinions and then back them up with facts. The difference between facts and opinions is shown here. A fact is a truth that is scientifically proven or generally accepted. For example, a smartphone allows the user to access the internet. An opinion is one point of view among many. For example, cell phones are destroying people's privacy. Let's now do some practice. Can you write F if the statement is a fact and O if it is an opinion? The second point of the rhetorical focus is interpreting facts to support an opinion. After the writers give factual examples, he or she then interprets the facts, explaining how they support his or her opinion. Let's do this exercise to consolidate our understanding of facts, factual examples, and then the interpretation of the facts. And here is the answer key. As you can see, the opinion is supported by factual examples followed by interpretation. The last but very important part is counter-argument and refutation. To make an opinion essay as persuasive as possible, the writer includes a counter-argument and a refutation. The counter-argument is the opposing opinion. It disagrees with the writer's position. By including the counter-argument, the writer shows an understanding of other points of view. The refutation is the writer's response to the counter-argument. In the refutation, the writer shows why the counter-argument is weak and the writer's position is strong. The refutation may also address doubts the reader may have about the writer's opinion. And here is the example. Please look at the counter-argument. Many people think that a child is unhappy with their brothers or sister. However, most only children would agree with this statement. And here is the refutation. Animals use language to communicate with each other. Let's do some practice to help you see how this works. You need to read each statement below, then identify the counter-argument and the writer's refutation. And here is the answer. This helps you see that although there might be some counter-arguments, the writer can refute and prove that his or her opinion is convincing. So we have looked at the organization and ideas of an opinion essay, and now we'll move on to language focus. We will study using quantity expression in opinion essays and using connectors to show support and opposition. In an opinion essay, writers often make general statements. It is important to avoid making a statement that is true for some but not for all members of a group or category. This is called overgeneralization. Compare the following statements. The first statement suggests that all cats in the world hate water. It is untrue because some cats, such as tigers, are good swimmers and enjoy being in water. In the second statement, the writer uses the quantity expression most. The quantity expression qualifies or limits the generalization so that the statement is true. Here are patterns that guide the use of quantity expressions. Most, a lot of, and some are used with both plural countable nouns and non-countable nouns. And here is some example. Most and a little are used with non-count nouns. Much is not always used in an affirmative statement. Use a lot of instead. And here are two examples. Many, several, and a few are used with plural nouns. And now let's study these two examples. When we explain an opinion, we can use connectors to clarify the relationship between ideas. One way to support an idea is to give an examples that illustrate the ideas. For example, most people are willing to spend money to make their lives easier. For example, most new homes make wireless capabilities. Our children should avoid junk food. In particular, they should stay away from sugary snacks. And the second way to show support is to add facts or explanations that clarify the idea. For example, the automobile industry is responding to consumer demands for more fuel-efficient cars. In fact, the number of available models has tripled in the past 3 years. So these connectors are used to show support. Connectors can also be used to show opposition. It is sometimes difficult for the writer to show that two ideas are opposed to each other. Connectors like however and in contrast help the writer focus the reader's attention on differences. Here are two examples. Electronic books are becoming more popular. However, many people still prefer to read on paper. Standard vacations promise relaxation. In contrast, extreme tours promise danger and adventure. When a connector is used to connect the two ideas, a semicolon comes before the connector. Then the connector is followed with a comma. That's all about opinion essays. In summary, we have looked at a number of important points under rhetorical focus. We have learned the organization of an opinion essay, the introduction that introduces a controversial issue, explain why the issue is important, and state opinion. Body paragraphs provide main arguments and reasons, show counter-arguments and refutation. And conclusion, restate the writer's opinion. We have also been able to go through some language and grammatical rules in using quantity expression in opinion essays and using connectors to show support and opposition. I hope that when you complete these units, now you can provide your opinion in a professional way. Thank you for your listening and see you again in Unit 6.